In this video, we're going to talk about 5 incredible fragrances that I discovered last month that you guys should definitely consider checking out. This is your monthly video that I do every month with the fragrance discoveries from the previous month. Not necessarily brand new releases. Some of these could be actually older fragrances. I just got my nose on them for the first time, whether I blind bought them, and I just love them so much that I wanted to bring them to your attention. These are 5 fragrances that you guys probably haven't even heard about it. They're flying under the radar, they're off the beaten path, that you definitely should know about. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another video. Max Forti. If you love to smell great, you love to make a great first impression, this is a great place to be. Today we're talking discoveries, blind buys, whatever you want to call it. These are the best of what August had to bring. This first choice here is actually a fragrance from a brand new release, a fragrance that is from this year, 2021, from a fragrance brand that's also launching this year. Now, the parent company of this brand is actually Milano, which is from Italy. It's a niche, renowned brand, you know, high-end, very refined. It's been around since 2013, and this particular one is called Milano Fragranza, and the fragrance itself is called Diurno, which means of the day or daily wear. Love the bottle, love the presentation. A little shameless plug here, ScentXplore, guys. If you love intriguing, unique, niche fragrances, you have to check out ScentXplore.com because it's happening this year for the 3rd time. It's a 3rd edition. Again, if you love unique, if you love niche, you have to check it out. Details below. I want to see you there. It's a virtual online event worldwide. Whatever you are in the world, you can join us. Last year, we had over 2,000 people in 28 different countries. Guys, don't miss out. Giveaways, masterclass. Details below. I want to see you there. Going back here to Diurno. This is just a Neo Fougere, guys. It's a fantastic boozy fragrance because it has a note of amaretto, which is an Italian hazelnut liqueur. Then you have the lavender here, which is amazing. It's a little bit creamy with some sage, which gives this off a nice little green herbal tinge to it. You have geranium, which adds this nice minty, you know, invigorating and bright accord to the fragrance. The base, you have white musk, cedar, and watery notes. It's not a watery fragrance to me. It's a Neo Fougere because of the lavender here. It's definitely got this old school vibe. This to me, it's a definite Fougere because of the lavender notes, herbal components. But it adds these really nice modern facets to it, including that boozy accord that I talked about with the amaretto. A lot of compliments on this one, guys. Long-lasting Milano Fragranze, which is, you know, paying homage to the Milan, you know, areas and heritage, and bottling them in each one of these compositions, guys. The company itself is incredible, and this one here is definitely my favorite, along with Derby, that I spoke highly about in my top niche fall fragrances of 2021. This is a must try. If you love Fougeres, but you wanted something a little bit more modern, a little boozy, check this one out. So I love boozy fragrances. I love pineapple in the note. I'm not talking about Aventus or Aventus clone here, but I do love the fruity pineapple. I love tobacco, and I love boozy scents. And I also love honey. All these notes, all these accords are infused into this next one here, which is definitely one of my favorite discoveries this year, and definitely one of the best from last month. This is going to be from Wilhelm Parfumerie. This is going to be Chicago High. There we go. It just focused for us. The bottle is amazing. Love the creativity here in the bottle. This is magnetic cap, and the sprays are great on this one. Now, Chicago High is going to be a nice boozy scent. It's fruity, it's spicy, definitely gorgeous tobacco here. The tobacco here, it's going to be a little bit animalistic, a little bit dry, but then you have the pineapple here that adds this beautiful fruitiness with it. The champagne accord, which is bubbly, it's effervescent. It's definitely the easiest way to define this fragrance is Chicago High smells like $1,000,000. It's definitely one of my favorites from the brand. You're going to have a honey accord here along with that tobacco. You have the pineapple, the champagne, a leather, patchouli, and amber trifecta in the base. You want something that's definitely going to command attention and make you stand out when you walk into a room, guys. Check out Chicago High. It's definitely androgynous, unisex, gender-free. It smells incredible. Continuing this top list here, we're going to talk about a fragrance. If you want to smell like the boss, if you like leather fragrances that contains oud, resins, guys, this is a showstopper of a fragrance. It's going to be upper class from Royal Crown. A lot of people compare upper class to Tuscan leather. I can see the resemblance only when you open up the fragrance here, the introduction, because you have the leather and you have the raspberry note. But as the fragrance develops on skin, you know, from the heart into the dry down, it goes into a different direction. I think this is a lot better than Tuscan leather, to be quite honest with you. Tuscan leather has been heavily reformulated. This one here is giving me some beautiful resins, which adds this beautiful smoky facet to it. You have an oud note here, which Tuscan leather does not have. So it adds a lot more, you know, robust character to this fragrance. And in the base, it gets even better because you have ambergris, you have oak moss, which I love, and of course, some more resins. You have myrrh, you have a touch of vanilla in here, and also musks. I mean, this is a much better fragrance, much better composed, and I absolutely love it. Look at the color of the juice. It's, like I said, resinous. It's upper class, like the name implies. It's high end. It's refined. You want to smell like the boss? This is like one of those fragrances. Definitely going to make you stand out in the crowd. You want something to just walk into a room and turn heads? Upper class is definitely going to give you that edge, guys. Check out the whole brand. I know they don't come cheap. Perhaps you can get a decant and live with the fragrance, but they are definitely worth it. And upper class is definitely one of my favorites from this brand. So let's start with this first one here from Plume Impressions or Plume Impression. This is from Dubai. French company, eradicated in Dubai. This is going to be called Ketal. And this is a fragrance, guys, that absolutely blew my mind. And when you find out why, it's perhaps going to blow your mind as well. This particular fragrance, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be beautiful beast sprayers here. This particular fragrance, guys, Ketal, despite the fact that the bottle just looks amazing, it smells incredible. It's very similar, I want to say 85% close to a long discontinued fragrance, very rare, very expensive, mind you, from Dolce & Gabbana. I'm talking about By for Men, which was released in 1997, and then shortly after it was discontinued, phased out. And it's a fragrance that these days will run between, anywhere between $300 and $700, depending on the size of the bottle, and how much juice is there. If you miss that fragrance, guys, and you know how that smells, you're gonna love Ketal. But this is so much more because it has a little bit of that fragrance in its profile and its DNA, but then it adds all these gorgeous nuances and notes to it. Now, Ketal, despite having that beautiful resemblance with By from Dolce & Gabbana, it has awesome notes like pink pepper, apricot, sandalwood, musks, patchouli, amber, and cedar. It just smells very woody. It smells very spicy. It's creamy. It's one of those fragrances that it's going to be very compliment inducing. I love this stuff. I've been wearing it heavily, and I can't wait for the weather to start to get colder because it's one of those fragrances that I definitely want to wear when it's cold out there. I think it's going to shine the most on my skin when it's cooler out. Not that you can't wear this when it's warmer, but you're going to have to spray a little less because it is heavily concentrated. It pushes very strong, and it's just one of those very bold, in-your-face type scents that definitely commands attention. Ketal from Plume Impression, which is the brand that I love, also joining us at ScentXplore this year. And this is one of the fragrances that definitely blew my mind that you must check out. If you love By from Dolce & Gabbana, you just want something really unique, definitely consider this one, guys. Ketal from Plume Impression. Now, the last fragrance we're going to talk about here just left me speechless when I tried the fragrance because I admire the brand itself. If you go on my channel and you type the name of the brand, you're going to see that I talked about this brand for many years, starting in 2013 with the original releases of the brand. And I followed the brand up until about a couple years ago. Then I kind of fell off, lost track of their releases. But I'm so happy to have revisited the brand and tried some of their later releases because this one here, guys, just blew my mind. It had me at hello. I mean, for one, I love honey fragrances. For two, I love unique, intriguing scents that are a little bit daring, a little bit challenging. And this is all that and then more, and then some. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. The brand's creativity flows through Victor Wong and then his briefing through the perfumers. And I think the fragrances themselves are just works of art. I love the concept. The brand, of course, Zoologist. And the fragrance we're talking about today, and that I'm going to highlight here for you, was my first experience with Bee from Zoologist, of course. Canadian brand. Now, I have to be honest, I first tried Bee at Assans back in 2019 when the fragrance was being developed in its earlier stages. But this fragrance absolutely blew my mind when I actually tried this fragrance this year, last month. I've tried a few of their compositions, but this is the one that really blew my mind, guys. I love honey. I love animalistic fragrances. This one here is an animalistic. It's got the beautiful honey accord in it. It's just balsamic. It's bold. It's animalistic. It's a little bit sweet. It's creamy. I mean, it's so natural to the elements of the actual bee. The bottle itself is gorgeous. The casing is beautiful. You can see the beautiful bee, the queen bee right there. It was a finalist of the Art and Olfaction Award in 2020. I believe this is a 2020 release. And I absolutely love this fragrance, guys. It's one of my favorites from Zoologist. I think right now it's at top with Camel, which it's a woody, spicy, oriental fragrance. or amber, I should say. This one here is also going to be an ambery, spicy scent. The honey here is absolutely intrinsic, absolutely mesmerizing. It's just perfection. If you love honey-based scents, this is a must-have. Forget about must-try. This bee here, guys, a must-have. It's not going to be for everyone. Again, it's going to have that challenging, daring, animalistic facet to it. But if you love honey fragrances, that bee wax vibe, it's going to be here from beginning to end. Other elements here are going to be benzoin, vanilla, the bee wax, of course, the honey, sandalwood, musks, florals. You got, orange blossom. You have heliotrope, which gives this nice nutty feel to the fragrance. I mean, it's absolutely stunning fragrance. I go as far as saying, guys, this is a masterpiece. I love Zoologist Bee. Definitely one of my favorite discoveries of this year, and I can seriously think that this is going to make my top discoveries of 2021, period, when I make my final video, in December, probably releasing first week in January for you guys. Great stuff right here. The brand is amazing. Try the fragrances if you can. Get decants, get the samples. But this particular fragrance here, guys, the concept of taking the animal kingdom, and bringing them to life in these bottles is absolutely amazing. I love the brand, and I'm so happy to have this one in my collection, guys. I hope that you guys enjoy these picks. A lot of these flying under the radar. People are not talking about them. So if you guys like unique, if you like, daring, challenging, and definitely off the beaten path, creative fragrance without constraints of the designer world, you have to check out ScentXplore.com. This year we have 28 brands, including some of these that you guys should definitely be aware of. It's going to be an all-day event, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, December 4th, 2021. It's going fast, so if you don't want to miss out, check out details and be sure to join us, guys. I will see you then, and of course, I'll see you here with more videos coming your way. As always, remember, guys, fragrances in motion, so be sure to choose your fragrances wisely, and as always, wear them well. Guys, I'll see you right back here with another video very soon. Take care.